This is a short presentation just to go through one of our dedicated winter maintenance tractors. This is a compact tractor which we have set up for cycleway and pedestrian de-icing, liquid de-icing. So we have a Snowbrush, a compact tractor and a liquid de-icing sprayer. So starting at the front, we have a 1.3 metre Snowbrush. It is hydraulically driven from the centre, so there's no hydraulic motors on the outside to get knocked off against lampposts, etc. Hydraulic angling left to right, and it's hydraulic raise and lower. We have a small jockey wheel which sets the operational height so that it's not actually running on its bristles, so they're just making contact with the ground, so they're not wearing out very quickly. It's a proper Snowbrush, so as mentioned previously, it has large gaps between the bristles, so that means that it's used to moving large amounts of heavy snow, unlike a sweeping brush which is like a full cylinder of bristles moving small parts. So this moves a lot. Moving on to the compact tractor, we use a Kubota 26 horsepower compact tractor. It's hydrostatically driven. It's very easy to drive. It's got a radio, a heater, air conditioning if you need it. It's a nice cab, so it's a nice place for the operator to be in. Hydraulic, it's a hydrostatic drive, it's a four-wheel drive system, so we also fit it with industrial tyres so we get more wear out of the tyres. Using a compact tractor, we have hydraulic takeoff, which is obviously necessary, so that comes as standard on most compact tractors. We also have a PTO on the back, which again is useful for driving the sprayer pump. A little bit of background of why we've gone down the compact tractor route. We've worked with a number of local authorities over the years, some of them very early on when they started to look at cycleway de-icing. Obviously the number one priority is we need to be effective at actually moving snow, clearing the snow and de-icing. That's obviously the number one thing that we need to be effective at. But we also need to be realistic about budgets. So when we looked at various costs and various different machines and different pieces of equipment that we could potentially use and supply for these local authorities, we came to the compact tractor. The reason we've gone with a compact tractor is because it is relatively inexpensive to purchase and that there is a reasonably good residual value at the end of the hire period. So that means that we can give you a very sensibly priced hire cost, because it has to be sensible, because it's only going to be allocated for 20 to 26 weeks of the year. So we have to be sensible, and most of that time it's actually probably not going to be operational, so we need to be realistic. Moving to the back, we have our Vale TM400. So this is a liquid de-icing sprayer that's developed and manufactured by us. Currently, with the configuration it's got at the moment, it's got a 1.2 metre spray boom. We've got a 400 litre tank. So with a 1.2 metre spray boom, spraying 15 millilitres per square metre, spraying 1.2 metres wide, this tank will cover 22 kilometres in one fill. As I say, we developed this machine. When we're developing machines, we look at different options and how we can do things. So we've got a sprayer pump. So what we have is a 3-cylinder diaphragm sprayer pump. It's driven from the tractor by the PTO shaft. It is a sprayer pump which has within it the seals and the diaphragms are compatible with all liquid de-icing chemicals. So you don't need to worry about the types of chemicals that you may or may not use. It's useful for that, and it's an 80 litre per minute pump, which means we're really on top of our job. We haven't gone down an electric pump route, we haven't gone down any other route, because we know that this is a system that's going to give us, the pump's isn't going to cause any problems whatsoever. As I mentioned, it's an 80 litre per minute pump, so we can use that pump to fill the 400 litre tank. So by turning the valve to this side here, we can connect on a pipe and suction fill using the pump to actually fill the tank. So 80 litres per minute, 400 litre tank, it will fill itself in around about 5 minutes. So that's very handy for if you're out on a route and you need to refill, you can meet someone at a location and refill itself. The tank is a shaped tank, and again, as you're developing a machine, you can go down various different options. So we've got a shaped tank with a very deep sump. Now the reason behind it, we've gone down this route, we could alternatively use a flat tank, but with a flat tank you would have a outlet in one corner, and as the liquid gets to below a certain level, the actual liquid will slosh around in the tank, which means that outlet will become uncovered. When it becomes uncovered, it will suck air in, and then it'll take some liquid, and then it'll be air, liquid, air, liquid. And what happens is, as it's doing that, you're going to end up with an underdosed route, basically, towards the end of your tank. So it'll appear that you're actually spraying, but actually you may only be treating it with maybe a third or half the rate you should be doing. So that's why we have a deep sump, so it all runs to a very low central point here into the actual sprayer. The bit that you can play about with is the boom configuration. So at the minute, 1.2 metre spray boom, but we can alter it so we can have some side jets. So we can increase and decrease the spray width once we set it up to your application. So we've got someone at the moment, we're looking at a 2 metre spray width. So we're going to put a nozzle on the side here, which is going to give a 0.4, 1.2, 0.4, and those nozzles can all be turned on and off separately. So when they get to a narrower point, we can just turn the 2 outside nozzles off, and they can use that middle boom. This is a speed related sprayer. So it's all controlled from inside the cab. So what we have here is a control box, and we take a speed reading from the actual wheel of the tractor. We then have a flow meter which actually physically measures the liquid going through the flow meter. It then opens and closes a valve which gives more or less flow to the nozzles. So we have different nozzle controls here. So this would be your middle nozzle and these would be outside ones. You can increase and decrease your application rate. You can turn it off, on and blast to give you some extra flow. But by using a control like this, we can set the application rate and the operator just needs to drive. One of the very special features which we've developed is the start-stop nozzles. So again, we were very mindful that we wanted to start applying as soon as the vehicle started to move, because if you don't, you can maybe leave a 2 or 3 metre untreated part of the route, where obviously if it gets icy, it's going to cause a lot of problems for cyclists. So as soon as the vehicle starts to move, it starts to spray, and when the vehicle stops, it switches off, and that's all done automatically without the operator needing to intervene. If there's any questions, contact us through our website www.valeuk.com, and we will happily answer any of your questions. Thank you.